Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back for Claim to Fame episode number 5. And it was another shocker here tonight. Happy to be back talking Claim to Fame with this woman. It's Jenny Autumn. Jenny, how are you?
Rob, I'm actually kind of relieved tonight.
Yes?
Was a little worried. I'll get into it.
For sure.
It was a thriller, yes. But I think everyone should open their ears to the sweet sounds of Jumanji coming through this podcast. It might smell like napalm.
Yes. Okay. Well, we are very excited to have here with us. What a treat to have with us our chief international survivor correspondent. It's Shannon Guss. Shannon, how are you?
I'm so great. I love Claim to Fame. I love being here with you. I'm a little upset that it went that way for Deirdre. Like, I feel like if it were me, I probably wouldn't have bet it all on Whale Sun. Whale Sun.
The fun
That's
pun,
not
though,
anything.
Shannon.
That's not a whale and sun. Is not
Bad.
anything. They weren't together. I'll never be able to say Wilson
Shannon.
again. Yeah, I mean, I hate to trigger Carly, but like Whale Sun, I can't say Wilson the same way ever again.
Yeah, so maybe
Carsley.
you should be looking for the volleyball if it's truly going to be Wilson on the wall.
Do we have to
everyone knows Cars is Owen Wilson's most famous role. So
I knew that he was Lightning McQueen before yesterday. I definitely knew that.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. So
Shannon, how are you?
I'm so good. I love Claim to Fame time. It's my favorite show. And I'm so excited to be here. I'm so pumped up. I thought this was another great episode, hilarious. The Atomisms were off the chart.
Yeah, Adam is what a character.
When did this happen?
This is. I don't know.
I want to rewatch the season a little bit. Like, when did he become such a troll? Most of my notes are just writing down the things he said. Veni Vidi Vici is from Peppa Pig. You knew that, right? That's where it's from.
Rob's a Peppa Pig pro.
For sure.
I actually watched the episode where it's in Peppa Pig.
Peppa Pig says it constantly.
Yeah. That's where it's from. So
yeah. Okay.
Everyone, that's right after where you clipped that, actually, Rob, the famous Peppa Pig soundbite they use all the time. That right after that's
when she says it.
Veni Vidi Vici. Yeah, that's
yes.
well-known Peppa Pigism.
There was just the sounds of Jumanji, as you said. There were so many atomisms in this episode, and he is truly like a gift to reality television. I don't know when it happened, but yeah, I'm having a great time. Thank you so much for having me on this podcast.
Okay, Jenny held it down without me last week when our friend Asia was here to talk about episode number 4. And so if you missed that one, check it out. But I'm back this week, and Shannon is here. Shannon, how are you feeling overall Claim to Fame season 3?
The show doesn't miss. I mean, I think that overall, maybe this has been our least endearing cast. I think that's a very high bar. I think they cast
it's all
phenomenally well. The boot order's been a little tragic. Like, when Naomi went, I was like, incredible episode, but I think she was really cool. Miguel would have died for Miguel. So I'm sad that he's gone. I feel like he was really the star, but it still is so good. It's still so fun. Like, I don't think there's been a bad episode. I think it's just, I don't have enough praise to heap on Claim to Fame. It's just a phenomenal show that you guys discovered.
Jenny, we're halfway through. We not only discovered, but also made into a success.
I love that we're just taking credit for that at this point. I love that.
It's really true. I will say the SEO of RHAP in general is incredible. Like, it's very hard to Google anything about Claim to Fame, but you guys are all over it. So
we're all over it. We saved Big Brother Canada once. We made Claim to Fame, among many other things.
South Africa.
We'll see.
Survivor UK.
We'll see.
Put our powers towards.
Well, it's like if you save the show, it might come back, but only for a limited time. So it's like you have to count your blessings. So.
Yeah. Jenny, can you believe we're halfway through Claim to Fame season 3?
I mean, I can and I can't, because I feel I think it's because was this cast a little bit smaller to start? And then
I think it was one person smaller. Yeah.
It was one. Yeah, it was an uneven number. And then we also had that double boot episode early in the season. So I feel like we sort of raced to a low amount of people. So it feels like it actually should be later, if anything. But we haven't had that many episodes. So I actually feel like, how is this not ending in like 2 weeks, you know? We got down to 5 people tonight.
Yes, down to 5 people, and a very appropriate number as we saw Diedrich go out as his dad, Jackie Jackson, one of the 5, of course, his famous relative being his uncle, Michael Jackson, the king of pop.
Who?
And, you know, Jenny, going back to the end of the first episode, really gigantic mistake by Diedrich to reveal, Mr. Jackson, you're back at the hospital again?
100%. Like, that was not big brain. That was a genuine, unless which is what I would love to have this belief, is that he was a production plant. Now, I don't actually think he is a production plant, but it's like he's kind of there to advance the games of people we want advanced. And he laid down on the sword for Danny tonight, and I am grateful for him for that. Thank you for your service, Diedrich, because I loved it. He said, I'm related to the most famous person on this cast and probably the most famous person in claim to fame history. Yeah. My days are numbered anyway. I am going to, if I'm going to go out, I'm going to go out trying to take out someone I don't want to win.
Yeah.
I'm not taking out my buddy. And I love it.
I thought you were going to say that the big brain is like, oh, he said Jackson, he's related to Michael Jackson. No, he wouldn't do that. He's not related to Michael Jackson. No, he's double bluffing it back because no one would believe he's doing that. So he actually is related to Michael Jackson, but now no one could ever think that because no one would do it. But maybe
the nesting doll of bluffing.
Yeah, I genuinely
like a bluff of a bluff.
They don't know. We know. They know. We know. I genuinely can't believe that this is how the layup who said his last name got eliminated. Like, you would think that he would be guessed. But yeah, you said that Michael Jackson is the most famous person we've had. Is Michael Jackson conceivably, and this is what I've spent a lot of the last week talking about with my loved ones, is Michael Jackson conceivably the most famous person who could have a relative on the show? Because in Googling famous people, like, MJ is very much up there, and then it's like Jesus and a bunch of dictators.
Like, most famous person in the ever?
Michael Jackson, Jesus, and a bunch of dictators.
Yeah. So those people probably can't have relatives.
Who's the most famous person ever?
Reddit really felt like MJ, or then like Albert Einstein, or like people that they couldn't. Caesar, like, ironically.
Interesting.
Maybe.
Yeah, the top 10 most famous people of all time. Let's see. Jesus, Michael Jackson, number 1. Muhammad, Hitler, Einstein, Lincoln, Elvis.
Elvis is one you could have.
Okay,
Donald Trump.
They did want to guess
Princess Diana, Barack Obama. That's the top 10 according to the top10s.com. Elvis, I think they could have.
I think that, I think MJ the most. I do want to put it out there. Then when we were talking this through, my brother did say that Jesus' relative would turn the pool water into wine bottle clues. Okay, I'm done. So if it is MJ the most, could we get more famous than MJ?
Yeah, I guess so.
This, I think I know the answer. We would say MJ is more famous than Elvis, right?
I think so.
Or is it just that, like, more recent? You know what I mean? Like, he died. For people of, you know, whatever age that would be talking about this, Michael Jackson was alive later, and they maybe had more time with him alive making music. So compared to Elvis. But I just feel like Elvis is a very big name too, right? Like,
I think he would be up there, like, top 3. But I think with MJ, it's like he's like got huge name recognition. And also, most people would name several things about MJ. Like, that's why the Clue Wall, I think, actually did really well. Justice for Carly, again. I know I've brought up Carly twice, the first boot of last season on this podcast. But yeah, she was like, you can't have a bench for Tom Hanks. And I agree. Tom Hanks is very famous, and the clue should be less identifiable. I think going with, like, the Wiz for MJ Even though the clue, I think.
By the
could've been
way,
more subtle.
I'm looking at a list that Tom Hanks is number 2 on another list of the most famous, the greatest
Oh.
celebrities of all
still
time.
I think he's a little bit, but he is obviously very famous. I think if you're gonna have someone that famous, you can't have a clue wall. Like this is what got Adam. Like, not that that's that hard, but like you can't have a 5, you can't have a mirror, you can't have jeans. Like they are going with some more difficult clues for someone as famous as MJ, and I think that is the right route to take.
You know,
when
throw
someone is
him a
that
bone. I
Yeah.
appreciate that they did that. However, he said, no, within a day of being here, I'm going to say my last name.
Yeah, well, that was a skill issue,
Yeah.
but they try to help him out. Okay,
Yeah,
They
as
give
I'm
him
saying,
the
they
bench
tried,
equivalent.
but it was no match for his own inability to not speak of himself in the third person as people love to do.
Yeah.
So just a shout out to somebody who's probably not one of the all-time most famous people, but somebody who's having a great couple of weeks here is that Simone Biles has been all over the television. And I just say like, oh, look, there's Louise's sister.
Louise.
I know.
That's Adria Biles. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what as well. That's where I know her from.
Yeah.
Honestly,
season 1.
as someone who wasn't like deep into Olympics around the time of like Claim to Fame season 1, obviously I what would have been the most recent like Simone Biles appearance in the Olympics to that the 2021
I'm not,
anyway.
I think she had
the twisties, which is also something I knew about before last week.
I just didn't have her face as like ingrained in my mind that until it was revealed quickly that she was the sister. I was like, oh, okay, I can see it now. But now I'm like, now that I'm seeing Simone Biles every day, I'm like, how that was so easy. so wild. Like, literally could have been twins.
Yeah. So it's great to see Adria Biles' sister do so well. Yeah. That's why I love doing that now. Just like referring to celebrities, like, oh, that's this person's relative.
Yeah.
It makes me really fun at parties.
Yeah. Oh, there's Gabriel's brother on television.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, Hugo's grandpa? Yeah.
Honestly, most of these people on the show on Claim to Fame are more famous to me and more important to me than their famous relatives. So I hope that is clear. I am more invested in their lives than the celebrities that they're related to half the time. So
I agree.
Okay. All right. So let's just take stock of where we're at now at the final 5, and we'll talk through everything we learned here in this episode. So Diedrich is out. Where are we feeling like this is going? Who's feeling like the winner of Claim to Fame, Jenny?
Okay, so I'm upset because I was going into this week. I'm a big Danny fan. That was my favorite going into this, and I was like, no one knows anything about Danny. And this episode was like a slow car crash that like we veered away in the final moments and missed whatever.
You say cause at this day, at this time.
I know. Sorry. It's I didn't mean to trigger you there.
Well done.
Wedding crashers.
You say crash at this time. Yeah.
But I will just say his celebrity is out there. I don't feel good about it at the end of this episode. However, a lot of things can happen, and the other thing to keep in mind is, do we know how the end game will work? Because if the end game works anything like the last 2 seasons, little too much power in the hands of the people that come back. Because I had a thought after I watched the episode where I was like, oh my God, could Adam actually win just because truly no one knows who he is? But I think if they get into a position where you get down to 3 or whatever and Adam's there, none of these eliminated people are going to want to help Adam with anything.
Yeah.
But it's still possible. I would say Shane feels like probably the top billing to win here. But I also, my guy HUD, I'm also like a HUD girl. I think, I don't know. It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
Shannon, it's been widely discussed that HUD looks like Jesse Lopez. But now he's like starting to play a little bit like a Jesse Lopez.
Yeah, he did stab his ally in the back. Though I don't know if Cody spent a lot of time being like, I just want to keep you around so that I can get rid of you myself as my little prisoner, my little hostage. So I feel like that was fair to do that to Naomi. As much as I love Naomi, she kind of did it to herself by being like, you stay here and I keep you as my prisoner. Yeah, I feel like HUD is in a good spot. Shane's stock falls for me, and here's why. Because look at with Danny how quickly it went off the rails. They have not pulled Shane's clue.
Yeah.
They could pull it and guess it like that. We don't know how obvious that clue will be. We don't know who he is, but it could be found like that so quickly, like Danny's was. Then you look at the other three. Now this majority alliance somehow of Adam, Mackenzie, and HUD. Adam person I feel like is difficult. Shayna said his person is really famous. Adam's person like is hard, and they're starting late. HUD, smoking gun. Naomi was wrong on HUD, right? She thought it was the person from the Runaways who's not Joan Jett, Sherry Curry or something.
Yeah.
These are people I'm also writing on my
I don't know
list.
her.
Yeah. So she's wrong. So if Naomi comes back and tries to even take HUD out, that could be the reason HUD wins. Because everyone will think that Naomi is right because she's been so correct about everything else. And Mackenzie's person, I don't know that Shane is ever connecting those dots to who that person is. So they have three like good relatives. If Shane's relative is as famous as he's saying his relative is, it feels like he and Danny are not like long for the game.
And that's the thing, we don't needing to know the format of the next few episodes, because obviously this was like no one was safe, no one was immune here. But, I could feel a lot better about other people's chances if the right person wins a challenge next week. They're safe. They get Shane's clue. Now Shane and Danny's clues are out there and they're easy to figure out. It does feel like it could be of quite a few people.
Sam Moore keeps telling us this is 10 episodes, but there's 5
really
people left.
I know.
5 episodes.
Maybe we'll just hang out with them. Maybe there'll be a recap episode.
Are we having a reunion?
I
mean, so next week, the 6th episode, we'll get down to 4. Then the next week is the 7th episode, we'll get down to 3. And then in the 8th episode, we'll get down to 2.
Yeah.
Then we're gonna have
3
then we're gonna
in the
crown the
finale.
winner in episode 9, and then
I'm so sad.
Yeah,
just
I'm a
vibe
bit.
in episode 10.
That's great. Let's vibe. Let's do that. I want to do that.
I mean,
We're gonna get a Jonas Brothers concert.
Amazing.
What if they
You
just
could not get Joe.
Yeah. Hey Sam,
What if
did
they
Miguel give you this lineup of what the episodes were?
Well, Sam, he says he doesn't believe it.
coming.
Okay.
I'm a Banderas. There's 10 episodes. Trust me. That I got that Banderas dog in me. 10 episodes.
He's in the other room being like, okay, there's definitely 10 episodes. And then he walks out and he's just like, oh my God, did you hear me? Oh no.
I think there's
Wait.
8.
Yeah. It's not 10 episodes, unfortunately. Why do they do that? Why do they reduce the episodes of my favorite shows? I wanted to go on for 40 episodes. I just wanted every week we just come in and guess who these people are.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's been a fun cast. I kind of like that, like they all seem like frenemies. And I just feel like I would have loved just a couple more people, and for us to not burn through some good people so early. Like, why are we racing? You know what I mean? It's
You
like,
say race today of all the days. You say race and car and crash, Jenny.
I'm sorry. I know there's lots of Cars references. They're just living within me. They're revved up.
I feel like Cars maybe
You
are
said
just
revved up?
You say,
Oh, sorry.
I feel like Cars are just a very prevalent part of society. Like cars, there are cars outside, but that doesn't mean you guess Owen Wilson, Diedrich.
The clues are all around us, Shannon. You know,
Mhm.
you got to open that third eye like Adam.
Yeah. Well, genuinely crazy that's the way that it went. Did you guys know that Owen Wilson voiced Lightning McQueen before this?
Yes.
You did know?
Yes.
Jenny, did you know? You didn't
No.
know. I feel like I know.
I could believe it, but
and Owen Wilson.
Cars.
Yeah.
Like,
When's Jenny watching Cars?
I don't think I've seen Cars actually. I did go on the Cars ride a couple of months ago. Does he voice Lightning McQueen? in that?
I would sooner get
Probably.
on the Cars ride than watch Cars, because that requires less attention span.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if it was Owen Wilson, there'd be weddings.
I know, that's
something
what
about
I'm
a wedding.
saying. It's
Was
like,
there a wedding on the clue wall?
But
They just wanted it to
Shannon,
be
there
real.
was a whale and a sun. Whale
can't.
sun.
Think about it.
The confirmation bias is worse than the traders. Like, I'm covering both shows right
Yeah.
now, and honestly, I think this is worse. So, how could we be so stupid as to miss Whale Sun?
Let's go back through this episode and talk about what we saw tonight. So we had some friction off the jump from Danny and Adam. Last week, Adam really wanted Danny, just tell me the clue. He said, no.
Show me.
Oh, show me the clue. Just show it to me.
Rachel. Yeah.
No. And he wouldn't do it. And this got ugly. Danny, what did Danny said that Adam is dumb?
I think he said dumb little man.
But was he talking about the scarecrow like in that? I thought that because he showed, so Adam was so pissed off that Danny was giving him verbal clues but not showing him the actual clue. And after, how everything played out, Danny shows him like a little sliver of the clue, and it was the scarecrow, I believe, and said stupid or dumb little man or whatever. And I
You're
thought
a little
that
man,
was
Adam.
him making a joke about the scarecrow. Like, it was kind of like, it was a layered thing because he is kind of shading Adam as well. But I think that he was also showing him like, hey, here's the scarecrow on the clue. Like, that's what the scarecrow is.
No, I think he was calling Adam
Scarecrow
a
needed a brain, Shannon. Hello.
I wasn't talking about you. I was talking about the scarecrow in the
Yes.
window. I think he was talking about Adam. Like,
I think he was being shady, but like in a clever way. And he wasn't like, he was showing him the scarecrow being like, look, hello. And also, this is the dumb little man from The Wizard of Oz.
I think he was talking about Adam. I don't think it's a good move to be baited into showing your like ever escalating enemy part of the clue. But even so, even in doing that, which I think was like the wrong move from Danny, Adam still doesn't believe it. So what does Adam not believe? He's seen the scarecrow. Does he not believe that Michael Jackson played the scarecrow in The Wiz? Or does he not believe what Danny is telling him The Wiz is? Is like what
I don't think he knows
retelling
anything.
of Wizard of Oz?
I don't think
Really?
I don't think that he either saw the scarecrow on the piece of paper that Danny was showing him, or if he saw, he was like he gets so laser focused on what he thinks things could be that I think that he just didn't even see it. Like, I believe that he found a way to reinforce Randy Jackson seeing whatever that was on the paper.
Yeah,
he's like,
I think it's fair to say, Adam, this guy knows nothing. He did not know who Molly Ringwald. He had to write down Molly Ringwald. I didn't think you shouldn't even be allowed.
That's what we were saying. I was like, I thought we were gonna get. That's what I was saying last week. I was like, I can't believe he didn't get eliminated there for like. I thought that was a DQ coming.
Yeah, I would DQ on.
Yeah,
you can't allow him to do it, then DQ him. You just say no, you can't write it. You can just tell him like, show me your hand.
Yeah.
Why did he have the
cue card?
Great TV, it was on his wrist. Was it in the cue card or was it on his wrist?
The cue card was on his wrist.
Did nobody ever thought of that before? You had all the people like in the previous seasons who couldn't pronounce the names and that. Yeah.
Yeah, we could have lost Gabriel
all this
didn't
time.
Write it down.
You could write it. It's news to me.
Yeah, but he doesn't know anything. I mean, that he thinks Jumanji is a sound.
But here's the thing, and this is what drives me crazy about Adam, is he fumbles ass backwards into success, which is like the most infuriating type of person, where it's like he got like the best. He's the only person who has successfully, still on episode 5, we've lost more than half the cast at this point. He has eliminated the only person with a successful guess because he was given the information. He has horseshoes up his behind, but I have to give him credit. They were all trying to put together Danny's clue, and he is at least the one that said the name that I think we're all on the same page about being the correct name.
Mark Anthony?
Yes.
Which
So
I believe they are pronouncing Mark Anthony.
it is Mark Anthony.
Is there
It's
an A? You
important to
pronounce
Rob,
the
who
H?
actually has
But
in his
I
family.
think that's at least the Americanized. I think that's
one would fly. Can you imagine? Mark Anthony. It was Mark Anthony.
because his name is Mark Anthony with the H. He's not Mark. He's not related to Mark Anthony like from history.
But I think that was a part of the clue, right?
Yes, exactly. But
exactly.
Oh,
I
didn't get that. I thought that that he's a Latin singer.
No, it's a Caesar reference.
Is it? Oh.
Wait, yeah.
But what would the conquer part be? I thought that was like Mark Anthony.
I just thought that.
Roman history.
I thought the
well, we'll have to look at the clue when it comes up. I thought
Listen,
that I was like, oh, it's Latin,
person.
and he's Latin.
Oh, it's that. It's what Rob did. And that makes me annoyed because I was like, I got it. Mark Anthony from history related to Julius Caesar.
That's what
who
I
said
thought
that
too,
as well
Shannon.
as Peppa Pig.
Because I thought the Veni Vidi Vici thing was a Caesar reference, and then Mark Anthony was a relative of Caesar.
No, it's not.
So I was like, you're just putting like a reference to the person. Anyway.
Yeah.
But again, I will give credit to Adam. He at least said the name Mark Anthony before anyone else did. And my brain was exploding at that moment. I'm like, I can't believe this guy is going to get credit once again for taking out one of the biggest players of the game somehow, despite knowing nothing.
To be fair, he deserved that one. Like, he actually did get the clue. I think that's why Dietrich was like, Adam, we're going with Adam's thing. I'm going to bet it all on Whale Son. And honestly, I don't know that I can even judge him that much. So, yeah, okay, it is. Okay, I'm really glad because I really did think, like, I was trying to work out how that worked into the clue. And then I literally was at dinner and loudly was like, Caesar! Like, Mark Anthony.
We could have done another Latin ref. I feel like it is, like, still intentional.
No, Latin Grammy. Rob's right.
Anyway,
Rob is correct. Well done, Rob. Thank you.
Okay.
So
all right. Well, we'll get there when we talk about the clue. Shane and Danny are a villainous duo. Jenny, did we know this before this episode?
I mean, we've kind of seen them, working together, sharing information. But this episode kind of started really tying the two of them together. And I wouldn't say that they're villains.
They just said it.
I know, but I think that they just feel a little like villainous because they are actively plotting to have some sort of throwing of a challenge to ensure that Adam is eligible to be the guesser so they can get him out. I don't think that that's that villainous though.
Yeah.
Given the situation.
What an iconic final five here, an interesting final five we have here with the trio of Hud and Adam and Mackenzie versus now the duo of Shane and Danny.
I just can't believe that Adam's in majority. Like, it was 5-on-1 at a point, and now it is 3-on-2, and he's part of that. So that's a little bit upsetting. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, throwing the challenge, I guess, made sense, especially at the point where there was no immunity given, and it was just for a wine clue that they collaboratively wanted to get of Adam's anyway. So I think Hud not doing that did look pretty self-interested. But yeah.
I have so many arguments here.
Please.
What? So, okay, a few things. One, I don't think Adam is in a majority. I think that Adam won a challenge, got information, was not eligible to be the guesser, which was the only way that they could ensure he was taken out this week. And just by virtue of the situation, he became a piece that they needed to use. I don't think Mackenzie or Hud want to deal with this man, and the second that they have the opportunity, especially because they don't have any information on him, he got very, very lucky. It was very circumstantial. I would not consider him in any sort of majority alliance. I really see it as 2-2, let's say, with Adam, just depending on where things go. And I think that we easily, again, hard to say, we could just see him go next week because everyone's like, okay, this guy is skating along.
how could he go? Because they don't know who he is. I don't think they're going to work it out. I don't know that they know who Michael
They can
Bolton
get a
is.
clue. If any of them win, if he doesn't win, his clue, he should have taken his clue. But anyway,
Well, we can talk about that.
we will
I feel
get
like
there.
because if he's the guesser, he'll guess Danny, so he can only go on them working out who he is.
They need to make sure he's not winning any challenges for sure next time. And the other thing is what I was going to say to defend my boy Hud is I don't think that I don't think that it even seemed like he didn't try hard enough to throw, because the way that this paired up challenge worked with guessing, it was pairs, and then at each station there was also 2 things. They only ended up getting 50% of the things right. If you can only control so much when the 2 of you are guessing things. So if Adam is like saying the right things.
But listen to what you just said. If Adam is saying the right things, I think they can assume that's not what happened.
That's what he's been doing. He's been falling ass backwards into the right situations. It's like, what he can. Okay, yes, he thinks that sounds are.
He Jumanji
smell napalm. He thinks he can hear Jumanji, but he knows what a cake feels like. You know what I mean? Like how there's certain things that I don't.
You can get Jumanji'd.
I don't think that HUD can throw. Like, it's not like they did so much better than the other 2 teams. So
true, but HUD did carry it.
I just think that it didn't come off as like, oh, well, HUD obviously didn't try to throw. Like,
yeah. Well, at least they won. Like at the point where they tied, it might have been best case scenario. It's like, okay, you didn't like smash it, and he still got the win off that without being like, wow, you got 12 points. Like you really tried hard, didn't you? So, exactly. But I do think that being paired up with Adam, you would assume HUD got 100%, and Adam got 0, and you'd be somewhat right.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's talk about this challenge. I really want to get into this and sort of break down the clues and talk a little bit about it, because I'm not sure I understood it fully while it was happening. So I'd love to talk this through. All right,
I've Googled and Googled. I need your help with some stuff.
All right. So we had the wheel of senses, and everybody was blindfolded. I was like, oh, blindfold challenge, gross. I was like, ooh, no, actually, we're going to be tasting and smelling things. Great. So, all right. We get our duo, our 3 pairs here. It's HUD with Adam, even though they made a pact to be on different teams.
The second
it was going to be 2 teams of 3. Like, yeah, exactly. Like they were coming up with this plan.
Same team. We can't be on the same team, and then Adam has to lose. So they are going to be on the same team, and Adam's going to win.
Yeah.
Like that's just the way it's going to work.
Shane and Diedrich were Team Blue Balls.
I love when they include the little things like that. They're letting Diedrich say blue balls on ABC, and I appreciate that.
Yep. And then Mackenzie and Diedrich end up being a team. Okay. All right. First thing up was a smelling competition, and it ended up being pumpkin pie and mothballs.
Yeah, please help me with this. I've Googled every celebrity we have with mothballs.
All right, so I can tell you, I think that the pumpkin pie, I think this was the Miguel clue, because we get clues for people that are still, they're gone. This is Jamie Lee Curtis is in the film Halloween.
Okay. And then what
about the mothballs?
I don't know the mothballs.
I Googled her and mothballs. I'm telling you, I got nothing.
Okay.
But it's like mothballs are something like closet, dress.
Here's the thing. I will always be listening intently to what my boy Franklin is saying. And he did say that the pair of items could be the items at each station were connected and could be clues to celebrity relatives. And I think that could is doing some heavy lifting in that sentence. Because there's only 6 of them left at this point. There were 8 stations, so 8 pairs of clues. So that leads me to think if they're only doing clues for the 6 that are actively still in the game, that you have 2 stations of red herrings that mean nothing.
Because we had Breakfast Club, we had the pancakes and cake, 16 candles, and Breakfast Club for Molly Ringwald. So then, and then I don't know what.
But it wouldn't be fair to. Okay, then Yeah, I guess then there could be the two red herrings could be people that are eliminated. But I also thought that there could be a chance that they mean nothing.
I like Halloween. I can't believe that.
I definitely
spent an hour Googling.
But why the mothballs?
Yeah, the mothballs.
Tell us in the comments, please.
That one we are struggling with.
I like the Halloween thing. I think that's good. I think that's conceptual and it makes sense.
Close.
And especially if we're going on the last two eliminated, maybe we definitely have Molly Ringwald, and then wasn't it Miguel before that? So Jamie Lee Curtis is still in it.
Mm-hmm.
I really just can't. I don't know.
Don't know. All right. So I mean, okay.
Yeah.
We don't know. All right. The next
one. But I don't think it's for anyone there.
Okay. What?
Is it possible that Jamie Lee Curtis is mother?
She's a mother.
Is
and
she
then
a mother?
You can't spell mother without moth.
She is mother.
Is it like? Are they like low key shading her and calling her old? And being like,
no, I don't
people
think
say
so.
that like, well, because I'm just trying to figure out.
65. She's not that.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, that's kind of rude. But you know how like sometimes people will be like, oh, they're old and they smell like mothballs.
I think the Halloween thing is good. I think it must be that pumpkin.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if she has a character name.
You're losing me at mothballs, but
maybe it was
I can't. Someone who is like a Jamie Lee Curtis historian will maybe be able to fill us in on how mothballs could make sense there. The pumpkin pie thing, I get it.
Okay.
She has two children. Martha.
She's mother. Okay. All right. So the next one ended up being cubes of food. Okay. Oh. Now, what were the actual answers here?
It was spaghetti. And no. That was the spaghetti, and then it was cannoli.
Oh, what's cannoli? Is that different to cannoli? It's
like a pastry. It's got like cannoli would be closer to a spaghetti. That would just be like
spaghetti and cannoli.
Yeah.
So it's Italian. So who's Italian? Because I've got all the others. These are the two I really struggled with, and I googled and googled cannelloni, which was not even the clue, with every celebrity that we know from this show, and I don't. It's someone who's Italian, but John Stamos is Greek, right? So
could it be Italy?
And there's only 8, so it's the 6 people who are left, and then usually it's like
not,
the people
then
that's
not fair. If they're not including all 6 people actively in the game, that's absolute bullshit.
So that means that either this one or the last one have to be for Mackenzie. But I could not, for the life of me, find anything for Mackenzie's relative.
No, she's the
either
manure.
This or the last one.
She's the manure.
The manure, I think they said was the manure they said was Shane. It was the chicken.
All right, here. Well,
together.
We'll get there.
Okay.
So let's put a pin in spaghetti and cannoli.
We're doing great.
It looked disgusting though. Like watching them eat like cubed spaghetti, like gelatinous, cold. Ugh, disgusting. Honestly. I don't know.
Okay.
Did that not bother anyone else sensory? I
don't even know how you make a cube of cannoli.
You can cube anything these days.
There's like what is it, like custard on the inside?
I think it's like a cheese mix. Yeah.
Yeah. So then I don't know. I think
okay.
You just let it.
I have a cube of cheese mix. That sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
A cube of cheese, that is a different story.
That sounds good. But that's, I don't know how you put like the shell in there, but okay. All right.
Smash it up.
The third station was touch. And we got, once again, another.
Sound.
Oh, I'm sorry. I skipped ahead. Sorry. I apologize. Sound. It was what? Bubble wrap. And what was the other thing?
An egg beater.
Beat it.
The sound of beat it. Yeah.
Not a sound of Jumanji.
I thought I hear Jumanji all the time. I'm worried about Adam. He's like, "Do you hear that? Do you hear Jumanji? Like, genuinely."
Do you smell that napalm? Do you hear that Jumanji?
Look, that would be terrifying. I was scared of Jumanji as a child. That was like
you hear a Jumanji and you're in danger.
Yeah, exactly.
Jumanji could come out.
Well, I mean,
Scary.
Adam should hear and sense his danger. Somehow he keeps escaping it, but he is kind of in Jumanji.
Yeah, and this was Diedrich's clue. This is the Michael Jackson stuff. Okay, all
So
right.
he
Next,
says ping pong balls to obfuscate the whole beat it. But luckily, Adam's also saying Jumanji somewhere else, so really got that one covered. It's really important to say ping pong balls, but if you're gonna do things like that, you also shouldn't say your own last name. Like I feel like at that point, let's be consistent in the way that we're hiding this.
The horse has left the barn, and you've closed the doors after.
And the manure is here for the challenge.
Horsepower, today of all days to talk about.
All right, number 4 is touch, and we get the lightning bolt again and a mullet. Boy, they do not really have a lot of clues about Michael Bolton.
Exactly. This is Adam's in the hole.
Yeah. Have they even like had one clue about one Michael Bolton song?
Well, I think that's why, if only Adam was better at things, he could have won a challenge on his own a lot sooner.
Yeah.
And gotten that clue, because I think that the clue, if they know what's good for them, they would have made that clue in the wine room really obvious, because they're not giving us much on the clue wall besides the freaking bolt.
Like microphone, ale, bolt, on. Michael Bolton. That's what just the name. He has no other information about him.
Yeah. Even because his songs are like not really things that have like a lot of nouns that you could turn into clues. Like his most famous songs are.
The clue will be something about when a man loves a woman. You know what I mean? That's what it'll be. It'll be because I feel like that's.
What else?
How am I supposed to live without you?
Okay, that's him too.
How am I supposed to live without you?
Really good. It's a lot of the same. Yeah, like a lot of the same. He's got like 20 songs with the word love in the title.
But I think I loved you, but I lied.
Yeah.
Yeah, his husband's a liar too.
I know when a man loves a woman, but I'm pretty sure I know it from The Simpsons. Like Krusty Loves America, right? So I don't think I know much else about Michael Bolton.
And I know How Am I Supposed to Live Without You from famously when Zach and Kelly broke up on the Saved by the Bell.
My gosh, really dating yourself there.
Well, Kelly was dating this guy Jeff from the attic.
That's why it was so upsetting.
Yeah.
They can. Okay. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna have a lot of Adam's gonna win this whole thing. I don't know how to break it to you. It would be funny.
Is so I said that it's possible. It's if they change the ending so that they can't help the person. I just that someone needs to get a clue, and it needs to be like Michael Bolton when a man loves a woman.
Yeah. Maybe Jenny, could they do Office Space as a clue?
Ooh. I think
what's that? For what?
Well, there's a Michael
there's a character in the movie Office Space that was name was also Michael Bolton.
Hey, they can do Mark Antony from History, which they clearly didn't. But we can take it.
I think they low key kind of did, but it's fine.
Well, the thing is, this is why it's tough. This was always my concern with Naomi, is that someone like Molly Ringwald, so much iconography, breakfast, pink, 16 candles, red hair, and Adam last week when they said red hair, what did he say? He said, "Are you thinking carrot top?"
Carrot top.
He was kidding. I don't think he was
My
joking.
brain exploded, Shannon. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Do you think he's joking about this in Peppa Pig? It has to be, but he's clearly not. But so Molly Ringwald, she had a ton of identifiable symbols that could be used on clue walls, that could be used in these challenges. Michael Bolton, it's like I said last season when they had country singer, circle it, and they don't have more to give. They just bolt. Think about bolt. And that's not enough for these people. They don't know who Michael Bolton is as a human being. And Adam is now basically the Chris, but they haven't even started trying to figure it out. They're on completely the wrong track. They think he's Owen Whale's son, and he's gonna win the whole thing. So that's where I'm at.
Okay. All right.
I'm not ready.
Let's go to the smell test. Okay. This was horse manure and fried chicken.
This is Shane.
See,
Shane.
I just think I think that was just a funny coincidence.
Oh,
and that it's for Mackenzie, because I think that I just
because I
think
was
that
like,
it's
bold
Yeah.
of the chicken to be relevant and
Okay.
picture you wearing it the whole time, like wearing your own clue.
No, I was talking about how
Let's
that
find
would
that
be
out.
like so badass
Yeah.
to just like be
All right.
wearing your own clue, but
No, all
I
right.
just
So,
think that this is like such
so
a
by
country
process
thing.
of elimination, okay, we're going back to the one that we don't know, the spaghetti and the cannoli. Now this has to be Shane, right?
That could be, or it could be the
I
pie
think
and the
so.
mothballs.
And we talked about this a couple of weeks ago, but we said Marlon Brando, and I think it came up back in the episode when they were talking about the Valkyrie and the Apocalypse Now. And of course, very famously, there's a line in The Godfather of leave the gun, take the cannoli.
Wait,
And
though.
so,
But no, because MJ isn't Marlon Brando's godfather. Is that who we're saying?
Well,
Shane.
I don't think that I don't think that
he
Shane
said that
said
his
that
loved
his
one was the
relative.
godchild of MJ.
I think he
his
just said his sister. I think Shane said his sister, their godfather is Michael Jackson. So
Okay,
that
this
could
is a lot.
not the celebrity relative.
Mm-hmm.
Not the
So-
celebrity relative. Is okay, so the celebrity relative's sister is the godchild of Michael.
No,
Jackson.
Shane's sister.
Oh, Shane's sister.
Which is why I thought Lionel
Okay.
Richie, because I was like, if he's related.
Yeah, but his
to
sister's not Nicole Richie.
No, it doesn't make sense now.
But this is not the way that the Godfather. He shouldn't even be talking about Godfathers if this is the line of thinking that we're thinking
That's
about.
true. That's true. That's totally,
Yeah.
For what it's worth, though, but for Trace Adkins, I
think there's something here.
For what? For Marlon Brando?
Oh,
Marlon
yeah,
Brando.
And Marlon Brando didn't he get brought up early in the season when
Yes,
they were
on the Valkyrie, because
Yeah.
when the Valkyrie
Oh,
was from
right.
Apocalypse Now.
So they thought that it was, yes, okay. Rob, I think you.
Yeah. Also, Marlon Brando,
Done.
Last Tango in Paris. Is there Eiffel Tower on the clue wall?
Yes, there is. There is. I swear. Maybe I just have been seeing it a lot this week because of the Olympics. I swear it's on
I feel like
here.
there was.
What the heck?
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. There it is.
Last
Okay.
Tango in Paris.
Wow, Rob, you're so
And if we found
smart.
something on Superman,
Do we have bran cereal and some sort of deer?
or dough.
Yeah,
What about, is
exactly.
there a picture of Brando from Survivor 45?
Yeah, that would
I
be very
wish.
annoying. They're really making the show just for us.
Yeah.
Interesting. What else do we have for Marlon Brando on the clue wall, though?
Oh,
Well, I'm like completely thrown off by who was MJ's godchild. I'm like very.
I know that. Well, that was the only thing that we had. We haven't really had.
Did we have a
any clues.
streetcar also?
Yes,
A streetcar named
but we
Desire?
also said that we
Cars again.
Yeah, sorry.
Not again.
Too soon.
Because we were saying that was maybe for John Stamos because of the
San Francisco trolley.
Yeah. But again, all great clues could be applied to more than one person.
That's
one
interesting.
people.
That's an interesting. So then, what
Rob,
is
I
it?
think
What
you
did he lie
cracked it.
about?
I think so.
So
I think I feel
AFTR
good.
and Oscar, correct? And he
Yeah.
said
And he's lying about the
cousin.
relationship.
I guess cousin is interesting because cousin is such a vague relationship. It says nothing about
How
age,
can you
it says
prove
nothing
that?
about
It's not-
gender, so it kind of just puts everyone into nowhere. But that's not. I feel like that's not a great lie. Like setting them on the path of an Oscar-winning actor. Legitimately, I think that it's pretty good to lie about relatives, but I think that then you should put them in the wrong direction. Like if it is your uncle, don't say cousin because Marlon Brando could be his cousin. Shouldn't you say like grandma or something? Like really put them in the whole wrong time zone, wrong gender. But I guess maybe that was a lie. It's like an uncle.
Well, it's hard to say. I think it just really depends on. I don't think that the strategy can be the exact same for each person. It's more so like you have to think about how people will connect certain things to decide what you want to lie about, or even just like what you think that you're capable of
I don't think the lies are good enough.
talking about.
It just lying about like from uncle to cousin, I think was a bad, or maybe grandpa maybe is what, I don't know, but
But
I
if
don't
he
think that
also
was
thinks
good.
that like at a certain point they're going to get a clue that like puts them in one direction anyway, that like if he can get them
Jonas
guessing wrong about
Brothers.
something,
Guess,
I don't know.
guess who he played? You have one guess. You have
Guess
one
who
guess.
played?
Guess who Marlon Brando played, who is an important figure in history. You have one guess.
Julius
Is it
Caesar.
Caesar?
No, Mark Antony for real.
Oh my god!
In Julius Caesar. Wait, Jenny, your connection thing, by the way, is on point. I think it's just because Hollywood is very small, but and like coincidental. Paula Abdul, who we know Michael Bolton apparently babysat, she had a thing with John Stamos.
Oh.
Now we're finding out that
everybody was connected this season. Maybe that's what the last 2 episodes are going to be, revealing all the connections.
I think that's what the last.
I love that.
Guess what? All of your celebrity relatives knew each other.
Can we? I would love that as a twist. I love.
They were all best friends.
Do we have anything for Godfather? Where is God? Where is Father?
That's
I mean, bring up the clue wall. I mean, when we just had the cannoli, that's a Godfather reference.
It's a very minor Godfather reference. Where's the horse head?
No, Ra, you've cracked it. I'm on board.
But quick. So if that's then this isn't Shane. Then I haven't found anything for horses or chicken for Trace Adkins.
I think it's just a vague. Okay, he does have a song. When I search Trace Adkins chicken, he has a song called "Brown Chicken, Brown Cow."
Oh, he does have brown chicken. Then why wasn't it on the Wikipedia search?
Yeah. Also, we have that puppet that's up there. I do believe that the treatment of the Godfather like logo, right? That is that a marionette?
Wait, where?
This is a really bad time to have never.
Oh, that. Oh, with the little, are those the little purple things hanging from it? That's
and I feel like that the Godfather logo is like puppet strings.
Rob, you found more like Marlon Brando clues than clues for anyone.
Well, we've been looking at this clue wall for several weeks, and Shane was the one person that we really didn't know. So I feel like
Sam? Can you? Because this is.
And again, maybe this is my confirmation bias at this point.
No,
you know what's really upsetting? You guys don't have
sense.
the low J. You didn't get the low J on the.
It's not because it's outside of the clue wall.
Yeah, he's not J medium. Okay, so that's why it was J low. It was under the screenshot that you guys have. That was a real smoking gun.
I feel like that clue is so easy. I really feel strongly that the wine room clues are not all created equally. No. But I guess
all right. Well, let's close out this contest, and then we'll talk about everything from the wine room. Okay. We had a chili dog and a melon.
That's obviously
for, and there's a song with a chili lyric.
It's from Jack and Diane.
Jack and Diane.
Yeah.
Sure.
Then we got the bongos and fire.
Yeah, it's Mark Antony.
And that's Mark Antony.
Latin music. That's what he says it. And he was in Man on Fire.
Okay. And then pancakes and cake.
Molly Ringwald.
And that's Molly Ringwald, yeah.
Okay.
So many things. So many symbols.
All right. So we did a good job. Other than the mothballs.
I would love to find out.
It was Jamie Lee Curtis. Halloween.
I mean, who else?
Tell us in the comments,
Could it
please.
Be?
Does Mike Myers hide in the closet?
So Mike Myers reeks of mothballs.
Yeah, you just don't know what it was like smelling that set all the time. Interesting. Marlon Brando, that would be interesting. All right.
Let's see. I don't know. 1978, the closet scene from the infamous closet scene has been from Halloween.
Okay. That sounds good. Did it. Solved it. I just want it to be solved. I've Googled so much.
Yeah.
I
mean,
I think either way, it's not for anyone actively in the game. So if it makes enough sense that
I have to know.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Okay. So I see a TikTok. Jamie Lee Curtis fight Michael Myers in her closet.
Okay. But why cannoli? Oh no, we know cannoli. But why spaghetti?
Yeah.
Why is it?
Well, I think it's just Italian, maybe.
Yeah.
Seems kind of typecasting.
I mean, both are like.
Yeah, here,
Italian.
check this out. This is from Pinterest.
They just wanted to make them eat cubed spaghetti, I think,
yeah.
Rob.
Here, this is Jamie Lee Curtis as
Closet.
Laurie Strode, closet scene, Halloween.
Okay.
Yeah,
now, if only there were like a box of mothballs just to like the right or the left. But I mean, if it's a famous closet scene, then I guess that's how
Again, I'm not a big horror guy, but
also they're having to take things to make this challenge that that are at least interesting sense or like tastes or sensory experiences. And I did think this was a fun challenge. They haven't done this one before.
It was,
I
it was a good extension on when they did the box of just touching. Now it's like all the senses. I will say not all the clues are created equal in this. Like fire and bongos from Mark Antony is kind of nowhere compared to had Molly Ringwald still been in it and they didn't know her. And I got a cake and pancakes with so much breakfast stuff. I'd very much be looking in that direction. So
yeah,
not all created equal, but still a very fun challenge. I think we got it to a good place with the clues.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Adam and HUD are going to get to pick the winner's clue. But first, that there is a push for Diedrich to be the guesser. Okay. That's what is being discussed in the house. Okay. We have to split up Danny and Shane. And so we're going to push Diedrich to guess.
Yeah, I think this was really interesting for two of the players. For Shane, who they're saying he's such a threat, but they aren't putting him into the guess off. I think he did really well with the threat of Mackenzie's clue, even though he does not know who that man is. So he did really well with that. I think he also did well pushing them to take Danny's clue over his. So he did well.
Because Shane talks to Mackenzie. He's like, "Hey, I don't want to have to use your clue, so you better go to work for me."
But and even more so,
like threatening as like some of the other people when trying to like low-key be like, hey, I got information on you. I would hate to have to use it. Like, I don't know. It just didn't come off as like aggressive. I did think that he played that well, just being like, I haven't told anyone or talked to anyone about it, but if I am in a situation where I have to guess, I'm gonna need help because that's all I got.
Yeah, he read the house well that they wouldn't want Mackenzie to go. He used it really well and it worked. But how impressive for Mackenzie of how connected everyone feels to Mackenzie that she barely helped herself. She was like, oh, Shane's a bigger threat than Diedrich. He came in, Shane, and was like, I will guess Mackenzie. And the fear of that alone, they were willing to sacrifice everyone except Adam's Leia in the hope that Mackenzie wouldn't maybe get guessed. Like, I think that's a pretty stellar social game. And they're saying she's good for the house. Okay, that means nothing because you're here for like 2 more days. Like, what's good for the house? It's not like it's a camp and you have to go fish. And also they're saying she's not a threat. I think she's a threat. People don't really know who her relative is. She's really, really social, has allies, and she plays really well defensively, I think, but she always makes sure that the guesser either won't guess her or like, if it's someone who could conceivably guess her, has a better option. I think that she's playing anybody but me, where she's always very defensive in the way that she plays. So as an example, she'll either make sure that the person guessing isn't someone who would guess her, or if they are someone who could conceivably guess her, she'll make sure they have a better option to guess than her. So she's pretty defensive. It's pretty subtle. She's not being clocked as a threat, but she has a ton of allies. Like, I think she is threatening and no one really knows who her person is. I think that she's doing pretty well.
I kind of wonder though, like, why wasn't there more interest in having Shane be the guesser?
Exactly.
And have him go for Diedrich, I guess, in that, like, it seems like whether they're right or not, most people in the house at this point feel like they know Diedrich is related to a Jackson of some sort. And so it was, that was the big shocker of last week that he didn't go for Diedrich. So it's like, I thought, I mean, I guess that's why it was a good play for Shane to just be like, I'm not even talking about going for Diedrich, but it's just weird. It's just weird to think that people didn't push him on that, being like, hey, would love for him to just take out Diedrich because that's taking out everyone else's layup, which helps me. I guess depending on what you think they know about you. I don't know. It's complicated.
Well, that's why because if he was actually if he actually knew who Mackenzie was, he would guess Diedrich. He'd get out the group layup that it puts him all in an even playing field. He'd keep his ace in the hole. But because he doesn't know Mackenzie, and he doesn't want to even stand up there and get on the podium, he just uses it as a threat. So that's how you
Mackenzie should have like called his bluff almost and been like, you know, and also she could have gone to the guys and been like, if Shane tries to like come to you to solve my clue, like I don't care if you find out who I am. I'm working with you, but like don't help him because if anything, we need him to guess Diedrich and like just take care of that. Our best chance is maybe he could be wrong and then he's out as well. Like, and then we still have Diedrich in our pocket. But I don't know. It's like that's why those two being up for the vote was kind of interesting, but also like anticlimactic at the same time because I just didn't think that there was a situation they were going to make Shane.
It was pretty climactic though by the end. It got climactic by the time Diedrich was guessing.
I love the way that they're editing. Like, I do think that they've taken, you know, the editing of the show to the next level here. However, I feel like I kind of go into things expecting it now.
Yeah,
like
expected?
Last week was cinema. Last week was absolute cinema. And I think because I saw how they're like playing into the flashbacks and like, you know, filling us in later on like what things had transpired, that I felt when we cut to the scene right before the guess off where, and I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but where Mackenzie basically goes to Diedrich and says, hey, you want to take out a big dog tonight? And he says, who? And she says, Danny. And then we go right into the guess off. I'm like, I just felt at that point, I was like, he's not going to do it. He's not going to do it.
But you never would have thought he'd flash back to Wales.
Is a master edit reader. Edit reading and previews. Jenny has developed like...
fame. I honestly... Well, last week I felt like I saw it fall off the rails for Naomi. I didn't see Owen Wilson coming. I'm not going to... Owen Wilson.
It just felt like that scene before the commercial leading into the guess off felt very similar to the Hud and Adam scene from last week where they're staring at the clue wall and Adam says, I've got nothing for Naomi. And Hud says, I got something for Naomi. It just felt reminiscent of that energy where I was like, okay, this means something, you know, like... So I just feel like I'm starting to figure out how they're editing these things. It's still very entertaining to me, but I think that and maybe it was just that I really just didn't want it to be Danny that I was like, I really hope that's what they're saying here.
They clocked the clue so hard, and he'd seen the clue, so you know, like it's not that they're lying. The only thing that he had to go on was, do I want to guess on Whaleson, or do I want to believe that Adam is right about something? And honestly, it was shocking that Adam was the one who was like Mark Antony. So insane. I like even Hud was like, yeah, but Adam said it. So I guess that was
broken clock. Yeah,
literally. So I feel like maybe that was what was holding him back, but I wouldn't have thought it would have gone.
All right, so I want to talk about another one of Adam's galaxy brain ideas. He goes into the wine cellar with Hud, and he says to him, "Hey, let's get my clue."
Has anyone ever done this before? I know Gabriel and Chris had to take Gabriel's because it was the last one. Has anyone? Because there is nothing on Google for this show. There's no like dedicated Wikipedia.
It's a fun idea in the right circumstances.
Where the Google?
Yeah.
I
Jenny,
like it.
Claim to fame Google. Has anyone ever done this? No.
I don't think so. I don't think that, and that's why I think it's an interesting thing to discuss because it's a good defensive move if you really think that, you know, that keeping it out of other people's hands is your best chance at like longevity and that you have like a social game, so you know that you'll be good with other people or whatever.
But not if you go with another person.
Yeah.
No, that's
think
definitely
that's
not
the
the place to
issue.
do it, especially after it's become very clear that you are, that you are enemy number one. However, he thinks that HUD is his guy at this point.
Yeah.
HUD
No.
literally just gave him Naomi on a platter.
That's what
last
Cody
week, and
thought with Jesse.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, there would be misplaced trust with HUD, but also you're going into a final five. Like at a point, everyone's against everyone. I think that the idea of taking your own clue if you're alone is a very interesting defensive idea for a couple of reasons. Like if you're someone who is quite unknown and you want to take out the chance of them seeing Mike Ale bolt on, which might be the clue, then I think that it makes sense. And I also think that, as we've seen, while the clues give people some capital, they make you huge targets. Look at Naomi. Look at Gracie Lou. It's like, oh, you have my clue now. We have this antagonistic relationship. I might want to target you. If you take your own and you just stay very quiet and everyone else just takes each other out and no one knows who you are, you can just Steve Bradbury all your way to the end. So I think that if no one else is there, it actually is a really good defensive strategy. It's more broad than just targeting one person. Now I know you. Now I'm trying to target you. Like that person could go home next. But with HUD, with one leak, just one person could tell, on it goes, and it's a domino effect. So it's not worth it. But if he was alone, I think it's a good idea.
Well, and Adam is his own leak, but I love it as I love it in the situation where maybe you already have because the thing is, like, early in the game, getting information, like, knowledge is power or whatever. So it's hard to think like, oh, I'm going to just take no new information and not get any information myself. But if you are on to somebody else already independently, just based on clues, or they maybe say, Mr. Jackson, like if you have other information and you don't necessarily need another clue, then I like it. But if you're in a situation where like you really need information on somebody, then it's hard. I could see it being really hard to give up the opportunity to get information on somebody else. So I think it just kind of depends on where you're at in the game, but I like it. He had a good idea, just not for the situation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Let's take a look at the clue that they do get. They ultimately end up pulling the clue for Danny. Here we go.
Yeah, no, it's Latin. No, he's right. It's Latin.
Mm-hmm.
Man on Fire, Latin singer.
Man on Fire is a song?
He was in a movie. It was like with Denzel Washington or something. Ah. Yeah.
Okay.
So I think he's more known for singing, but he has been in films.
He's known for J-Lo.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So Man on Fire, Latin musical artist who falls
for
J-Lo. Fall for falling low J.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The double low J.
In fairness, could have been a lot of people.
Yeah, but only one singer. It's not Derek Jeter.
She has been married 6 times. She has been married 4. But I mean,
look, 6 times.
Yeah, Mark Anthony is not that.
Could have been Diddy.
But here's the thing. Oh boy.
Yeah, they were definitely gonna do that. When did they film this?
Yeah.
Diddy's under fire. That's all I'm saying.
They didn't get married though, did they? They were just in a relationship.
Yeah, they were. I think that when someone's not that famous like Mark Anthony, the clue should be obvious. And for MJ, they should be subtle. And it should all be on a scale.
What's the Latin translation of Veni Vidi Vici?
I saw.
And look, because I'm just saying, could be Diddy.
Oh, Jesus, Rob. I mean,
I think it's Mark Anthony.
It's definitely Mark Anthony. There's no question. I'm annoyed that I paused and Googled this when they immediately got it.
No, don't do that, Shannon, save yourself.
What, to Google it?
Mm-hmm.
No. I do think this is an incredibly obvious clue. However, I see your point, Shannon, and that if there's not a lot that you could glean otherwise on like the clue wall, and they're not like an extremely famous person.
The maracas, the bongos. I was supposed to get Mark.
He was
Anthony
hiding behind Miguel this entire time.
It's alimony, and it's J-Lo, and that is fine.
How much alimony is he getting?
Probably a lot. J-Lo is very famous. I think that like it is very conceivable, as we've seen, that you can be like, oh yeah, who was J-Lo married to, and not know his
he
name.
pays
so...
J-Lo alimony?
No, what? No.
According to court documents, Mark Anthony pays his ex-wife a monthly payment of $3,500.
Okay,
I will
who is
say,
J-Lo's lawyer? Because we need to. That is well known.
Like am familiar with Mark Anthony because like I knew that they were married, but like I knew who he was around the time that they got married independently of her. Like I knew his name. So it's not like he's like an unfamous person. Also, they had children together. I also think that maybe is why the twin crabs, because didn't they, I think that their children are twins.
Yeah, I think that they are twins.
So that could be because I was trying to think of like what clues on the clue wall are for Mark and Anthony, but I don't think I wouldn't say that he's the most famous person that she's married, but I think they were married the longest, right?
Well, until Ben Affleck, he's her most spousey spouse.
Interesting. So
like she was married to him for years, like a long time, and had kids with him. Like other people are more short-term relationships.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. No, definitely. Okay. And I mean,
he's most famous for being her spouse. Other people are famous and were her spouse. But he is, if you think J-Lo's ex,
I think it's just that he hasn't done a lot in the spotlight since being married to her. But I think that my argument is he wasn't as big as J-Lo is and has continued to be since they were married and divorced. But he was very famous. I feel like he was still like a fairly big name in music in the early 2000s around when they got together. But that could just be like niche for like what age I was at around that time. I don't know.
I feel like Jackie Jackson is as famous as Mark Anthony. Like J-Lo is less famous than Michael Jackson, but still very, very famous. And this is someone connected to J-Lo, let alone that Diedrich had Michael Jackson. Like you cannot put these people in the same sphere.
Oh, they absolutely are not. Like you're never going to
put anyone in the same sphere as Michael Jackson, to be fair.
Yeah, like exactly. Like
and Robin Roberts.
Jesus.
Okay. All right. So, all right, we got it. Mark Anthony, we cracked the case. All we got to do is just tell Diedrich. So, Adam and Hud talk about it. They end up, first, Adam tells Danny we took your clue.
This is so funny. No, he tells Danny he took his own clue. But the guess, till he lies. But the plan was to be incredibly vague. So at first, they're like, Adam, did you make a good choice? He's like, in life, we all have choices that we have to live with. Like, he's super, like, vague and, like, nothing's it. And then is like, immediately, but I took my own clue. Which was one of my favorite Adamisms. Another one that we also just brushed right past. He says to Hud, he's like, if we were to take my clue, would you also want to look at it?
Oh my gosh. My brain exploded.
I think that, considering I carried the team to the win, put myself out there when I could have thrown it, I think, and I've won this clue, I don't even get immunity. I think I'd probably want to see it. So
the audacity of this bitch. I was like, he was like, Hud's like, that's how this works. Is it's not one or the other. We both get the clue. Like, don't even try to pull a fast one on me here, buddy.
That would be ridiculous. So so many Adamisms. Incredible.
All right, so we get Mackenzie involved. Okay, all right, she knows stuff. Let's get her in here. They try to figure it out. Ultimately, Mark Anthony. What about Mark Anthony? That's it. We got it. Tell Diedrich.
Yeah, okay. They did. They did tell Diedrich.
Diedrich's like, nah.
And this is where I truly want to believe that, Diedrich said, I really just want to get rid of Adam, though. That would be more.
That was the plan.
I don't think it was that. I think he thought, did Adam really guess this? Because Adam doesn't know what the whiz is.
I don't think that anyone said that Adam got it. Because HUD and
he didn't even tell him, because then it's unforgivable. If he got it from HUD and didn't even realize that Adam was the one who came up with
I don't even think Adam was in the room when they went to.
He wasn't, but I assume they'd be like, "Oh, Adam."
I know, but think about this, like
That's not a
how
good
this
pitch.
season has gone and all of the chicanery. And don't forget, like Diedrich was in on the plan with Miguel of like that. A lot of people are like pulling off these like last minute moves and questioning information of the source where it comes from.
But he saw the clue. He literally saw, and it makes so much sense that it's Mark Antony. So you just have to be like, no, you're just wrong about the name, or you're just so pulled to Whale, Sun, and Cars, and it's undeniable that it has
Maybe
to be.
he's been thinking about that for a while. Maybe he's just been really like.
It's a bad thing to think about. It wasn't anything. It was a terrible guess based on nothing. There's nothing about anything about weddings in the clue. Well, you definitely have weddings.
I just think that Diedrich is a Jackson. He is clearly, I'm sure, financially doing just fine.
Yeah.
I think he's like, hey, I've literally heard people in the house saying the name of my celebrity relative. My days are numbered.
Yeah, that could be it too.
I don't like how Adam's been playing. He's been saying, I don't like how this guy has been playing. There's been lots of talk that he doesn't deserve to be there. If he feels like he has an okay enough guess, I mean, be the kingmaker.
Why not?
It's like I like Danny.
Not?
He's vibing.
Your legacy
I don't even know for
Sun.
sure.
No, I'm sorry. The fact that
you think that's his legacy?
Yeah,
I love that. He's a hero.
I'll never say
nephew
Wilson
of the king of pop. His legacy is Whaleson.
He
Michael
said
Jackson
his
has so many
own
relatives and godchildren.
he said his own
like-
very famous last name in a game where you were supposed to conceal your identity. I don't like, we can't put anything past him. I just love the idea of him laying himself down on the line.
It is
to
true that, as
protect
you're saying,
the people
it's
he
not
likes.
just that he's doing fine. He also knew he was on borrowed time, given he said his own name and was related to someone so ridiculously famous that like eventually they would get there. Like he wasn't gonna win. So I guess he could just kind of like shoot his shot. He was playing with like some sort of house money or like lack of money.
Get rid of Adam and like let the other people
Jackson's
let the
are doing
big kids
good.
play.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I'm choosing.
I said earlier on the clue wall that the Eiffel Tower could be for Last Tango in Paris, but also Paris Jackson, also a possibility for Eiffel Tower.
Oh.
Could be both. Could be a double clue.
And that's what makes a great clue.
Mm-hmm.
Have it
I
be
think
applicable to many people.
if it had been Owen Wilson, they would have had to taste key lime pie. That's the first part. Famous low-key aspect, key lime pie. Also, I thought it was a real missed opportunity that she didn't, when he guessed Owen Wilson, Adam wasn't like, wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that would take him having to know anything to know to make that reference.
He's like, who is Owen Wilson?
Yeah, he's like,
Sure.
oh, I'm pretty sure it's not my relative because I don't know that name.
Which is the same look that everybody's gonna have when they reveal Michael Bolton. Like, who?
Wow.
Who's Michael Bolton?
Wow. You know what?
Oh my God. Yeah.
I think that
he sings "Time, Love, and Tenderness." Hello.
I think to that Michael Bolton would said that he said he loved you, Rob, but he lied.
Mm-hmm.
They're never getting Michael Bolton ever.
Oh gosh.
Michael Bolton will give a shout out. I mean, it was sad to not get a Michael Jackson shout out.
Yeah, I think that would have been tough.
I think
AI can do anything
saw
these
that
days.
coming.
Actually,
AI can do everything.
This is what we're saying. We should have got the hologram.
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
Singer of
we don't do
How
holograms.
Can We Be
enough
Lovers When We Can't Be Friends? Michael
We get a
Bolton
Michael
has some
Bolton
cringy song
hologram
titles. He's
live.
got one of Michael Bolton's greatest hits is "Can I Touch You? ... There."
Jesus.
We love a king that asks for consent.
He is big on the ellipsis, I feel, because I think like the "said I loved you, but I lied" that also has the ellipsis in it. Like
It really
he's a
changes
big
everything. ...
Like it's
And those
He
are
thinks
two
it's
different
sexy.
song titles.
Yeah.
Like, "Can I Touch You? There" changes everything. I said I loved you, but I lied. Now we're in a completely different. Like, I said I
he's
loved
the
you.
king of the
that's
swerve,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was a swerve. This guess. That was a swerve.
I don't know,
is
it's
where
kind of
Adam
a mixed
gets it.
message, that song. He says, "Said I loved you, but I lied."
I really love you.
Because this is more than love I feel inside.
Oh.
He's lucky he
Wow.
didn't get slapped by a line. I said I loved you, but I was wrong.
Do you know what that reminds me of?
Because love could never, ever feel so strong.
Yeah, that's a bachelor proposal, right? Like, that's how they get them. They're like, I've been going through this journey and I just don't know if I love you because I'm in love with you. Like, that's what they do when they try and blindside the audience at the proposal. So
I think it's such a boss move. We need I don't know why modern singers are not like pulling the knot on us, you know what I mean? Like we need more swerves in our songs.
Another
Neg
Michael
them
Bolton-
and then get them back. Like in it. It's like, just kidding. I actually am obsessed with you.
Another great Michael Bolton classic. We're not making love anymore. ...
We're having sex.
Baby, we're not making love like before.
When I came in here thinking we might be going through Michael's song titles, I didn't think they'd be Michael Bolton's song titles.
No.
These are the more important ones, Shannon.
Yeah, I thought we might be more of like a
clues.
Billie Jean direction, but this is the Michael singer that we still have in the game, I guess. So
yeah. Okay.
Wow.
All right, so there we go. Claim to fame. Adam survives another week, but he's got something on his back. Can anybody help get this thing off of his back? A target.
I would have thought that was cute if I wasn't so fed up with it.
I want him to stay now. Come on.
He's gonna win. He's definitely gonna win. I think as well, we didn't talk about last week, Jenny. I know that you didn't get to this part of the clue. I saw you saying in the Patreon group this is why I feel this podcast is so important. Claim to fame needs to be discussed more than any show. Like the second I finish, I'm like, what was that? Like, go to listen, but you can't go on social media because I don't want to be just like spoiled, but I will Google. And I did Google Monkey House for Ice. And then the first thing that came up from last week's clue was a claim to fame Reddit page from a day before that says, what was Monkey House for Ice? Don't tell me who it is. I just want to know what Monkey House for Ice is. So I think we can say ape rent ice. Ape rent ice.
Yes.
Ape rent ice.
We discussed this after the podcast, and
okay.
I don't think I would have ever, without knowing, because I already felt very strongly about who it was before that. I only watched. I'm on the right side of history.
How dare you?
In my
How
apprentice viewing, I've only watched the Schwarzenegger.
Okay. Yeah, so I've gotten a chance to talk about Trace Atkins, singer of Honky Tonk Badonkadonk.
And
that's all I needed was Honky Tonk Badonkadonk. That's all I needed.
Okay,
yeah,
so Trace Atkins won a Celebrity Apprentice and then also was a finalist. Yes, he was. Yeah. He was. That I think he won All Stars and lost. I feel like Sam knows this stuff.
Yeah, that is true.
I feel like he went to a finals with Penn Jillette and beat Penn Jillette, and then who did he lose to? Much like the person
Piers Morgan.
Wow.
Yeah, he lost to Piers Morgan.
A lot is going on.
Much like the man he wanted to work for. Sometimes he wins, sometimes he loses.
There you
I was
go.
gonna say that he's like the Michelle Fitzgerald of The Apprentice, a finalist and a winner, but you went with Trump. Oh, yeah. So also one of the most famous people in the world, probably.
Very different people.
Very different people.
I'm not gonna compare. I guess they like a win and a loss is the only similarity there. But okay, so yeah,
red. I will always think of Michelle.
We're comparing Michelle and Trump. What else do they have in
common?
No,
I don't want to be, but I'm just saying. I'm trying to think of what they have in common. I've seen them both wear red.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
I can't think of one more, and it's actually annoying me because I don't think that
her and Joe Biden both say malarkey.
Okay,
so
it's basically like the combination of if you put Biden and Trump into one person, I think that's
so
Michelle.
she could be the force that unites this country and solves the great divide of the United States of America, Rob, is what you're saying.
I
was
think it's
Michelle
more just
Fitzgerald
like
all this time.
of all, Michelle Fitzgerald should be president. I think that's what we're saying.
Mhm.
All right,
That's
I'm
where we're
voting
at
for
now.
Michelle Fitzgerald. I actually am Australian. I don't get to vote.
Yeah.
You should still do a write-in. Just send him in the mail to somebody.
Okay, so there's Trace Adkins. Will his daughter go on to follow in his footsteps and win a reality TV program?
Wow.
Wow, we really got so political in this podcast. We
People are gonna
started with
love
the
that.
most famous people in history, which was in itself, and now we're here.
Yeah.
And yeah. So
There we go. All right.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What else?
I need to figure
Shannon,
out
we
how
didn't
they're
give out
gonna
the
do.
Chizzy points.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think about it. There's not a lot of people left. 3 points from Mackenzie.
Mackenzie, 3 points.
Those would be more points.
Even though
Look
she
how much they
didn't,
wanted to
even though
protect her.
she doesn't, she like, because she really wanted. She's upset at the end of this episode because
Well,
the plan was to get Danny.
who can foresee Whale Son? If anything, that she actually it's better because they've just switched one layup for another, but it's a layup that Shane doesn't have on Danny. So the three of them have Danny anyway, and they've lost the layup in MJ's whatever. So I think it's fine, and I think just the way that she so wants to be protected, no one's clocking her. I don't think they know who Trace Adkins is or will know.
No.
I think she's
The
got
country artists always go undetected.
That's like anyone who's related to a country artist, try to be on claim to fame because your chance of winning.
Gracie Lou had the right
high.
idea.
Yeah, and anyone who's going on the show, just like deep dive country music.
Yeah.
Like that is like the biggest thing. So I think 3 points to her. I'll do 2 points to Shane.
HUD? Oh.
Shane. I think Shane did really well to not be the guesser. Used the threat really well. Didn't get his clue pulled.
Yeah.
Is the one person we don't know at all. Well, we suspect, but they don't seem to know at all. Oh, they don't know Adam. Whatever. We're still vague on Shane.
We're not giving Chizzy points to Adam.
Yeah. Adam got Mark Antony, but
I'm still giving. I would still. Well, listen, they're your points, Shannon. But
no. I think a point.
I feel like HUD deserves something. Yeah.
I guess. Well, for what though? What did he do in the end?
He at least. No one knows his person, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Because even the person who had his clue didn't know.
3 points for HUD last week on Naomi. Like, she was a huge threat. He got her out. That was a great Jesse level move. This week, I don't know that I love him not throwing the challenge, although I do think because no one knows who he is, he has like some runway.
I don't think he was not throwing. Like, I just don't think that he was. I just don't think he was like going hard out of his way to throw the challenge. I think it's also a hard challenge to throw. It's
not great to be like in bed with Adam.
Wow.
You know, he might want to touch you there. No,
there's a Michael Bolton song for that.
Yeah, it's not great to be in bed with Adam. I think that like it's just like just tell them we don't know which clue, or we're working on the clue we don't want to say. Like it's tough, and then Adam immediately. So that's not great, but I do think he has allies. I do think he's unknown. I don't think I can give it to Adam. I can't give it to Diedrich. Danny, this didn't go great for Danny. I don't know that he
half
did
the house knows his celebrity now.
Yeah,
so
they know, and I didn't think showing the scarecrow was good. Being baited in the fight. Yeah, I'd almost like by a process of elimination, right? So, yeah, I think those are the points.
Okay. All right, Jenny. Anything else from Claim to Fame week 5?
I'm still having a lot of fun. You know, like I was saying before, the editing has been fun. I do feel like with this final 5, I truly don't know how many episodes we're gonna get and how we're gonna drag this out for possibly 5 more episodes.
I think 3 more.
Okay. Well, perhaps Sam got his information. I don't know, from the Adams School for figuring things out. So but that almost makes me sad because I'm not ready for it to be over. I feel like it just started.
Yeah.
But I think it's a fun season. I kind of like that everyone is like, I don't know. I think that there's good drama. I love that we have, you know, a very fun, unself-aware character in Adam. Like I think that the cast has been very, very fun. And I'm a little sad that I feel like we figured out everyone. I just feel like it happened so quickly.
I know.
I'm like, when can I get another season?
We're
That's what I
not
was saying, like,
100% on Marlon Brando.
No, we're not.
not 100% because we haven't seen a clue. But Rob in this podcast presented like
It was
10
very good.
different
It was
differences
really
that
impressive.
made sense to me.
No,
so
it was a great presentation.
I really feel like there's more data than like other people that I feel stronger about because of their clues. I don't know. I would love for them to just toss like in a couple more people. Be like, here's a swerve. Here's some new
Yeah.
people. I don't
Yeah.
know.
wanna
Oh my god,
know-
intruders.
But I'm
Yes.
like, I'm just like, how are we gonna do this for that many more episodes? We're really only gonna do 8 episodes? What?
Bring in
I
more
don't know.
Jacksons. Bring in all the Jacksons.
Who's the jelly on the clue wall?
It's a swerve.
The grape jelly.
Or it could be a breakfast club thing.
I think it's
No,
breakfast.
Really?
Well, it's a breakfast, like it's a
That's
breakfast
the one
condiment.
thing. Sam, look at this big jar of jelly.
They just said we need a fun like fake clue for
Googling
Danny
jelly
because
now.
they were all like, "Oh, it's jelly roll."
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why I said that they only don't know Shane. They don't know anyone. We aren't certain on Shane, and we're certain on everyone else, and that
Yeah.
is impressive in and of
I mean,
itself.
half things on the clue wall, even if we know who the people
It's
are,
not
where it's like we have no idea
Jelly.
what
Could it
any of
just be
these
grape?
things are.
Great.
Like, what's a baseball for?
Um,
I feel like we shouldn't be getting so much into the weeds with this because there's a
Bins-
mirror. There was a mirror. Man in the mirror.
okay.
Hmm.
Is that a mirror?
Yeah. Yep.
I'm gonna make a change. It was right there, Adam.
It was right there.
right there.
It was
It's
right
a
there.
pink
We got
mirror too, so it is
footprints.
kind of giving a little pretty in
Yeah, a little
pink
pretty
to
pink.
me
It's
as
both. I
well.
love Jenny.
And again, that's a good clue.
Yeah, was the whale Free Willy?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson
Yeah.
famously
This
Say-
soundtrack.
sang the song from Free
Yeah.
Willy.
Yeah.
Which song was that?
Will
You Be There? Yeah.
There's so many songs.
There's so many songs.
There are
That
a lot of
is-
songs.
Yeah.
A lot
Yeah.
of songs.
It's true. A lot of them are Michael Bolton songs, and they've got a lot of references
the
to
Michael
love and
songs.
ellipses.
The jelly is really gonna irritate me now. Can someone in the
I think
comments
it's-
tell me who the jelly
There's
is?
red herrings. It's a great pairing.
Great
don't know.
pairings. Yeah. All right. There you
Double
go.
herring.
All right. Let's check back in. Shannon, earlier tonight, you, myself, Josh Wigler, Mike Bloom, Casey Kasem, we had one
Okay.
of the greatest wand-offs ever.
Yeah,
the wand-off
excited
came
about
back so
it.
hard.
I mean, loved it.
Michael
Love-
Jackson was just like from beyond, was just rooting us on.
Yeah, and you guys heard a preview or post view tonight with Rob's beautiful dulcet tones singing some Michael Bolton. So
I hope
yeah,
there was
Yeah.
a Michael Bolton wand
No,
off.
there was one. There's a late entry.
from what pseudonym did you used to go by?
That what on the
Yeah, you.
call
Sometimes he would like submit a question from Bob.
Yeah. I think
Wow.
Billy.
Billy. Is
Mhm.
this too inside
Don't make him
baseball?
box
Mhm.
himself.
This is a long
Yeah,
time
this-
ago.
Yeah.
So are you still doing that?
Was that the inside baseball over there?
Oh.
You know, if I want someone to ask a question for the podcast or I can address it, I just get my brother to ask it. Like I don't need like a pseudonym and a fake voice.
Mhm.
Like they did in that challenge with the modulator. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I don't know. Anyway, I don't know how to plug something we've done, but it was great.
It was great.
All
right.
Listen to it.
Catch Shannon every week on the Summer of Survivor as the Summer of Survivor rolls on. And then, Jenny, what's coming up for you?
You know, it's claim to fame season, and we don't know how long the season will last. So
No.
I'm hoping that we can keep the claim to fame content pumping, and I'm feeling like there's more in the tank for us, Rob. That's all I'm personally gonna say. I think that we've got more claim to fame content coming
Yeah.
down the pipe.
Yeah.
And
we got a bonus episode maybe that we're working on.
yeah, exactly. We love
Okay.
a bonus. A bonus Jonas, in fact.
Bonus Jonas,
Love
for sure.
Franklin Jonas. Yeah, and a little Big Brother 26 recap action. Lots of things happening today, this week, So anything you want to see from me on social media at Jenny Autumn. And this was fun. Shannon, thank you for
really
gracing
fun.
us with your genius here.
No, thank you for having me. I mean, as I said, you guys are the forefront of claim to fame, like
Yes.
the biggest experts of claim to fame on the whole planet, if you think about it. Like if you were to be on claim to fame or a relative of yours, it could be like, my relative is
so
I do think about it a lot.
I think that Jenny is the world's foremost claim to fame expert. Is that fair to say?
I didn't want to say it. It is Jenny. It is.
I
Jenny.
think that's crazy.
I feel when I talk to Puyo about traders, like you're the number one in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm not even like a pop culture like phenom. You know what I mean? But I think that's what I like, is that I know just a little bit, and so it is like a fun game for me because I don't know enough. That I think that it would be too easy if you know everything about everything. So I'm just dumb enough, and I wouldn't take that as an insult.
No, you're the expert of it.
If Danny called me dumb, I'd be like, "You right.
You are the expert.
King. I love you."
in the whole world, you are the foremost expert of claim to fame in the universe, if you think about it, unless there's some sort of other planet that has its own claim to fame. And this is the most essential podcast that exists because you have to talk about it, but you can't look it up on social media. I always check the hashtag of anything I watch. Never do it for claim to fame because people be spoiling out in these streets. So
we
it
hate
was an
spoilers.
honor to be on the podcast. Exactly. And the game is what's so fun to play along.
Anything that we figured out, people have probably spoiled weeks ago, but we're going to figure it out at our own pace.
We need to trust the process and let ourselves get there. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Jenny, great job. Thank you all so much. We love to read your comments here on the YouTube channel. And if you want to be subscribed to our podcast feed, make sure you go to robswebsite.com/fame feed. Thank you so much for joining us. Take care, everybody. Have a good one. Bye.